This recipe is a real favourite in our house, and it's a spicy chicken wrap with some mango. Absolutely full of flavour. I'm going to show you how to do the goujons in a moment. We're going to do the crumbs, a lovely little kind of like marinated tomatoes, mango and a pesto mayonnaise. So there's a lot of this elements that can be made ahead, which is perfect. So let me explain what I have in the blender. I have some of the Simply Better Ciabatta crumbs, from Mr. Crumb, and then I also have, to give it really nice texture, and these are dried breadcrumbs. They're called panko. We use them in the restaurant. So I've half and half in the food processor. If you can't get them, just the regular ciabatta crumbs are perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in some parsley. I'm going to let the food processor do all the work. So I'm going to put stalks and all in. So this is the flat leaf parsley in here. I'm going to talk to you about two spices. These are two of my favourite spices, the turmeric and the mild curry spice. They're all organic, and they're from Oco. They're based in Athlone. So we're going to put in 2 spoonfuls of the turmeric, and I like that they're in small quantities, so you don't have to buy huge amounts. So I've used this a lot, the turmeric and the curry powder, in my curry recipe with sweet potato chickpeas. If you follow me on Instagram or social media, you'll see it. Definitely one of the most popular recipes I've ever done. So this is a very mild curry powder. If you like this spicy, you could put in, I'm putting in 3 spoonfuls of this, maybe one more for luck, but you could put in some chili powder, or you could put in some of the harissa spice. So if you do like it spicy, absolutely. I'm going to blend this for a moment, and then I'm going to throw in these lovely sesame seeds, because if I put them in now, they're going to lose, they're going to break up, and I don't want that. So I'll just put them in at the last minute. So using the blender, this just chops the parsley, but just really distributes the spices through the crumbs. Now I'm going to throw in then the sesame seeds, and I'm literally going to, and that's it. I don't want to over blend it. These crumbs are brilliant because they'll keep for about 2 to 3 weeks in an airtight container in your fridge, and you can freeze them. So we'll have a little look at them now. So just empty them all out. You're going to get lovely colour, lovely flavour there. So remember the ciabatta crumbs and then the panko crumbs, which give really, really good texture. So we're going to show you the technique, or I'm going to show you the technique of pane. I'm just going to heat my pan. So a pane means, everyone, flour, egg and breadcrumb. So first of all, I'm going to heat my pan low. I'm going to put in plenty of rapeseed oil. It's a really good oil to use because you have a high smoke temperature. And when you do a pane, everyone, you season up first of all with some sea salt, the flour. So this is plain flour here. And then I have some of the Simply Better corn-fed eggs, 2 eggs, a little bit of milk, just blended. So that's an egg wash, and then our breadcrumbs. So let me talk to you about the chicken. These are the mini chicken fillets, okay? So they're corn-fed, quality assured. They're produced in Cavan, and the farmer here is from County Monaghan. So it's a very, very good local product, and it's fed on maize. Remember that. That's what gives it the most beautiful flavour. These are the little fillets. This is a full pack that I've already opened up. Now when I do this, I'm going to be honest with you, I'd probably get 2 or 3 packets. I do this in batches, and then I put some of the chicken into the freezer. So I'll show you the tip as I'm doing this in a moment. I'm a big believer in making things as simple as possible. I'm using chicken. You could use maybe some whiting, some haddock, some hake, flour, egg, or breadcrumb. Those crumbs are delicious, so they are, even if you're making potato croquettes. So this is the little mini chicken fillet. So you're going to put one hand into the flour, and then one hand goes into the egg wash. And then you just mix this. So the egg wash is really important because it will help the breadcrumbs obviously stick. So the flour seals in the chicken. I'll do a couple more, and then we'll just roll them, so we will, into this. So try and pick a nice big dish. So flour, egg, milk, 2 eggs, a little bit of milk, and then we have our breadcrumbs. So see the way I'm doing all the flour first of all. So may as well just do them all, and then I can show you. So that's a full packet of the mini fillets that I've used there. And after I finish this video, I'll do the other ones, and I can keep them in the fridge. They'll keep for 3 or 4 days. Probably 3 days is best. And you can freeze them, so you can make them ahead. So they're great if you want chicken goujons. So I'll just move that out of the way. So now, this is a real tip for you, or a good tip for you. So you keep one hand kind of wet and one hand dry. So that's our egg wash there. Just kind of gently press that. And that's one of your lovely little kind of strips, the goujons, the little mini fillets. So see the way I'm doing that? I'm kind of gently patting it, shaking it over. The herb that I've used is some parsley, flat leaf parsley. You can use curly, it doesn't matter. That's what we have here at home. But you could use basil, you could use coriander, and again, if you want it spicy, do put in some chili powder if you do like it spicy. So this is really important. See what I'm doing here with the kitchen paper? So that's the way I would store them, in the fridge and also in the freezer, and then you label them and you date them. Okay, so that's really, really important. Can you cook them from frozen? Yes. I tend to take them out of the freezer, and defrost them in the fridge. So we're just going to gently just do this. The pan is nice and hot. I don't want it too hot, so I'll just take that off for a moment, because what will happen, it'll burn the breadcrumbs, and they won't take long to cook, trust me. So we'll put on a few of these. We'll put a little bit of butter into the pan. You know me and the butter. And remember, with the breadcrumbs, it's going to absorb a lot of this oil. So you can freeze these breadcrumbs because you've had raw chicken in it, and they'll keep for 3 to 4 days. So just make a note of that. So that's the spicy crumbs. I would probably say goodbye to the egg wash. So I'll just move that out of the way. Just while I'm over here, I'm going to wash my hands in one moment. We're going to put on our chicken onto the pan. So just melting the butter. So rapeseed oil and butter. So this is still kind of wet here. So I'll do 3 or 4 of these, and then we wash our hands. Really important. Food hygiene, how you store, your food, washing your hands. So important. So I'll put 4 onto the pan. You don't need 4 for this. Probably 2 will be enough for 1 wrap. So remember, cover that with cling film. Keep it in the fridge, and it keeps absolutely no problem at all. So wash your hands really, really well. And you can freeze those goujons so you can perfectly. Now turn up the pan. So we're going to do our little marinated tomatoes, prepare our mango, and just get our wrap ready. So I've turned up the pan a little bit just to get the cooking process. I don't want them to brown too much because they will burn. So we'll do our mango in a moment. First of all, I'm going to show you a lovely little garnish for some tomatoes. So these are some Irish growing cherry tomatoes. We're going to put some rapeseed oil. We're going to put a little splash of balsamic vinegar because I love this, so I do. So that's the balsamic, it's a 3-year-old balsamic. We're going to grate a little bit of lemon zest. I tend to do this a lot, so I'll just use this grater here. Okay. Throw your eye over the pan, really important, because we don't want them to burn. They will burn if you have it too high. So I've reduced the heat. You start off in a hot pan, and I forgot to say that the oil stops the butter from burning, because butter doesn't have a high smoke temperature. Now, what works really well with that is a little bit of basil. Let's have a little look at our chicken. So if you want to, you can put basil into the tomatoes. No, a bit more colour. Now that's good. So if we just have a little look here, it's beginning to brown perfectly. It's still raw in the centre, but I love that golden brown colour. And the butter will give the most beautiful flavour. So if you do this just with butter, it will burn. So do use the rapeseed oil. You get a higher smoke temperature. Okay, a little bit of some sea salt, a touch of pepper, and then behind me I have some lovely fresh basil. I'm going to put that in there. So the pan is on low. You can use coriander. I have coriander here or basil, whichever one. I'll just pick a little bit of basil, which I really like. And then we're going to put that into our tomatoes. It's one of my favourite herbs. Not an easy one to grow, but it is a beautiful herb because you need a lot of warmth and moisture. So just cut this into little strips here. Now see the tomatoes I've done? This can be made ahead, which is great. So that's that there, ready to go, seasoned with salt and pepper, and that's that ready to go. Now, just going to wipe here in front of me. Just keep a little eye. I might turn it down to a lower ring because they can cook. So when do you know when your chicken is cooked? I'm going to show you. So if you press into the center of the chicken, that still feels very soft, particularly that one, it's quite thick. So as it is, as it's cooking, it's going to obviously cook through, it's going to firm up. Now I'm turning these over again, if you just look, and they're getting the most beautiful color. If you don't want to pan fry them, you can bake them off in the oven. So if I was doing this in the oven, it'll be about 180, and it'll take about 12 to 14 minutes. But trust me, doing them like this, it's definitely nicer flavor. Okay, we're going to do our mango next, and then we'll do a little pesto mayonnaise, and then we'll serve it up. So I forgot to show you just what we're looking for with mango. So when it's nice and soft and ripe, when it's ripe, it should be nice and soft. Not too soft, not too firm. If it's a little bit hard, what I would do is I would leave it to ripen in a warm kitchen. So before I do this, I'm just going to check on the chicken. This one here needs another little minute. I'll flip them over again. And you can see like it's nearly absorbed all that, all the butter and all the oil. And what I like to do is just let that sit there. Now it'll finish off on the pan, but I'm going to put it onto some kitchen paper. So it's still cooking away, the heat of the pan will cook it through, and because those little mini fillets, they don't take long at all. Okay, we're going to cut this nice and long. You can peel it with a potato peeler, but I'm just using my knife here. So just remove this, any of the skin, trim it. And the mango gives gorgeous freshness. Sometimes when I do this, I put a little squeeze of lime into it. It works really, really well, so it does. So slice this nice and thinly. And that's our mango done there. You can see that. Leave it a lime if you want to, but I think there's enough with the basil and the lemon zest in that. There's definitely enough. Okay, a little bit of pesto mayonnaise. This is just some regular shop bought mayonnaise. We're going to put in some of this lovely Simply Better pesto. I'm a big fan of this. You've seen me using it in lots, and it's a fresh product. So it's usually kept in the fridge, so it is really, really good with pasta. So about 3 teaspoonfuls of that. This pesto mayonnaise can be made ahead. So your tomatoes, they'll keep for 2 or 3 days in the fridge. As long as you don't put salt into them. I think salt draws out the water. So you can just have the vinegar, the oil and the basil and the lemon zest if you want to. So that's our little mayonnaise. That's it. Simple as that. Okay. So we're going to serve up. We're going to get these wraps. So this is an Irish company, Fitzgerald's. You'll get these. Really, really nice company. So I'm going to use one of the bigger wraps. Obviously you can get smaller ones for kids. So these are just the plain wraps that I'm using. You can get ones with seeds, it's up to you. I've used lots of them, so I have. That chicken is perfectly cooked, it's firm to the touch. So the first thing we're going to do is with our mayonnaise, just with the spoon, we're going to spread this all over, or smear it. You can use a palette knife, but then you're dirtying another product. Now the salad I like for this is this lovely baby gem, and this is grown in Ireland, known as Cos. So we're going to put this, and this gives great crunch to it. You can use rocket, but I think this is a better salad to use. Now we put our mango. So the mango goes next. 2 or 3 pieces, probably 3. I have 3 done there. Should one more for luck. We won't waste it. And then our tomatoes. So look how good they look with the vinegar. Honestly, try these. And this is lovely, even with some goat's cheese. It's a really fresh. It's so full of flavour. And this could be an absolutely delicious wrap, for, when the children go back to school. You can have these already made, the goujons, and then just simply warm them up if you want to. Now, here's the fun part, wrapping this. So we have our layer of pesto, mayonnaise, we have that lovely Cos, you have the spicy chicken, and they can be done ahead, and then we just literally wrap this nice and tight, as tight as you can. Okay, really nice and tight. So I'm going to leave that just there for a moment. I'm going to cut it in a minute. We're going to serve this with a little bit of salad. A couple more tomatoes. I do love salad. This is actually lovely if you want to with some, sweet potato wedges or even some chips. Now I'm using the oil and the vinegar to dress the salad. So we're wasting nothing. So you have your tomatoes just cut in half, and the cherry tomatoes are much nicer to use. So I'll move that there. Just using my knife. I'm just going to cut this at an angle where I can show you this. And then you can see that lovely the chicken, it's lovely and moist and succulent. Can you see that? So that is a really, really delicious, trust me, you won't be hungry after this. I'll turn it around here where you can see it. So you can see that lovely layers, the wonderful moist chicken. You have the mango, you have that crunchy salad, the tomatoes too are delicious, and that mayonnaise and that wrap. And I think that's definitely one of our favourites, so it is. So the key into this is really good quality chicken, a lovely fresh salad, and a lovely kind of combination of flavours. Try and get that corn-fed chicken, it's delicious, so it is. And you can do it in batches, and you can pop it into the fridge or the freezer, so you can get ahead of yourselves. So when I'm finished now, I'm going to use that chicken, flour, egg, or breadcrumb onto the tray, into the fridge or freezer, and we'll be enjoying that over the next couple of days. So happy cooking and enjoy this delicious spicy chicken and mango wrap.